Krishna is sending this person. Thank you, Prabhu. You're making me more humble than a blade of grass, you idiot. No. You see it. Thank you, Prabhu. You're making me more humble than a blade of grass. I appreciate that. That's how you're supposed to see it. Right? But then what do you do when someone's praising you? Because that's even harder. Isn't it? You're being praised. You are such an incredible this or that. How do you deal with that? Difficult, right? So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, the way you deal with that is you think the person is telling you what you're supposed to develop. These are the qualities you're supposed to have. You don't think, yes, I have them. You think, these are the qualities I'm supposed to have. They're telling me I'm a great this or that. They're telling me I'm humble. That means I need to try to be humble. Nice, huh? You like that? Can you do it? Prabhu, you're such a great this. Yeah, I know. You don't have to tell me. Everybody tells me that. You don't have to tell me. It's so obvious, isn't it, that I'm great at this? No. You appreciate that someone's praising you. You appreciate that. Thank you. You're very kind.
Goodbye.
Thank you. You're very kind. And I will try to live up to that. The Maharaj Prithu was being coronated. They were all praising him, and he said, don't praise me until I do what you say. You said I'm this and that. Praise me after I do it. So, okay, you're praising me. I take it as future tense. This is what I should do. Okay. Anything else? Yes?
I was thinking also it helps us to see what we're missing out on, how much more there could be there. And we're going to have to spend those 2 hours anyway, so why not maximise on our endeavour, and then it creates like a kind of greediness, I want to get this, I'm missing out on this.
Yeah, exactly. What's actually in the holy name that I'm missing every day? That my god brother or god sisters, they're talking about how amazing it is, and I'm not tasting that. So it's the same mantra. Why am I missing out? What am I missing out on? What can I get? And like you said, you're going to put in that time anyway, right? It's not like you're going to avoid those 2 hours. So what are you going to make out of it? It's a nice meditation. Okay, so now why don't we segue into another topic? And I'm probably not going to use the slideshow. If I use the slideshow, it'll go too slow. Then I'll be talking, you'll be reading it. You'll be writing everything down. I'm trying to get to the essence of things. So one of the things that we discovered in our workshops is that if you have all these realizations about how important it is to chant, and you develop the desire to do that, there's something else that needs to go along with it. It means you need to create a lifestyle that supports your japa. Because if you have the best of intentions, but your lifestyle is antagonistic to good japa, you stay up late, you watch movies at night, you watch Bollywood movies, maybe even before you chant, you watch them. You understand what I'm saying. You don't want to do things which minimize. So, Satyananda Swami would say, what you do when you're not chanting is going to affect what you do when you're chanting. So that's very important. You agree?
Yes.
Yeah, you can have the best of intentions, but your lifestyle doesn't support it. You have to leave for work every morning at 7, 8. You get back late. If you don't chant in the morning before you go to work, that's, you can get your rounds done, but they're not going to be that good, even with your best of intentions, right? Say, well, I'll chant during lunch, and then something happens and something comes up, and then you had to work on something during lunch, and there went your japa time. Okay, I'll chant when I get home, but when you get home, you're tired. Your mind is full of thoughts of the day. It's going to be more difficult, right? You get home, if you have kids, they want to spend time with you. So you have to be intelligent about how you live so that your japa can be supported. So, you want to do a little exercise? simple exercise, but anything that you think you're doing now that is getting in the way of your japa, anything that you might be doing, that's in your lifestyle when you're not chanting, that's affecting your chanting. It could be listening to certain things which are not Krishna conscious, reading certain things that aren't Krishna conscious, as I said, watching things that aren't Krishna conscious. That not everything that's not Krishna conscious is going to affect your japa. You may have to do that for school or work, or for your preaching, you may learn things. But you know what I'm saying. You want to see anything that's having ill effect on you. Are you always getting in arguments with devotees? How does that affect your japa? Are you staying up late? Are you spending time on the internet when you could be studying Bhagavatam? Do you never read Prabhupada's books? How will that affect you? It'll affect you for sure. You agree? So, just make notes of things that you feel you're doing now that are having some possible detrimental effect on your japa. And that could also be what you're doing while you chant japa internally. It could just be what you allow yourself to do internally while you chant. That's part of your lifestyle, right? But then you can discuss that with your partner. You can write it down in your book and discuss with your partner. Can we think of a few more examples just to kind of get the juices flowing?
Overeating before going to bed?
Overeating before going to bed, yeah. How about eating before you go to bed? That also, overeating is double trouble. Eating before you go to bed can affect you. You'll have to sleep more. You won't. Someone have experience of doing something that really hurt their japa? Getting in a fight at night? Ever had that experience? The next morning you're just agitated? Yes? Checking emails at night, especially if you're the temple president, because it's all bad news, right? Working late at night, yeah. Getting home late, getting to bed late, getting up late. Going to bed late, getting up early, then you fall asleep. Yeah.
Chanting with counters. Chanting with counters.
Chanting with counters could be, yeah. I won't make any judgment on that, but that's for you to decide.
Planning your day or week or even month so you could
ensure good japa time. Yeah. Lack of planning, so you don't let anything get in the way of the time you're going to chant. So you can isolate that time. Everything that enters our senses affects our consciousness. Our eyes, our ears, our nose, our tongue, touch, everything has an effect. So it's good to be aware of that everything we do has some effect. Yes?
Not chanting many rounds in the morning, chanting more than later.
Not chanting many rounds in the morning, yes?
Not having the right mindset when you get up in the morning.
Yeah. Having the wrong mindset, so you sit down to chant and you're not in the right mindset to chant. That's very important.
Watching television.
Watching television.
I don't watch television, but I think it would.
Unless you're watching Mahatma's japa workshops. Then it's no problem. Yes? Yeah. Watching, yeah. Television. Well, the best thing you can do with your television is give it away to someone you don't like and let it destroy their life instead of yours. Facebook and chanting. That's the 11th offense. Did you know?
So simple.
The 11th offense is to be on Facebook while you're chanting japa. Yeah, it's right there in the Padma Purana. Yeah.
Breaking principles.
Breaking principles, yeah. Of course. Regarding this on Facebook, yeah, when you chant japa, that's what you're supposed to do is chant japa, not do anything else. Right? And so we have to We have to learn that principle. That's when you chant japa, that's the time of day that you don't do anything. You just do japa. Like, we talk about quality time. You have to have quality time with your kids. You have to have quality time with your workers. You have to have quality time with your spouse. Right? So what do they mean by quality time? There's a typical thing. The husband and wife are having breakfast, and she's talking and he's reading the newspaper, and the newspaper is in front of his face. She can't even see the face. And he's, every once in a while, he's going, yeah, sure, okay. So that's not quality time, is it? That's unquality time.
I feel that you will wander and around your house the whole.
Oh yeah, get you in a bad pattern. Yeah.
And then
Sets a standard. Inattentive japa sets a standard. That's a very good point. You remember the first point I was making, that it's a habit? Japa is a habit. So you have to be really, you need to be really conscious of the habits you're creating, because it's true. When you don't chant well, you're creating a habit, unknowingly. Because every time you don't chant well, your tendency to not chant well the next time is going to be stronger. Did you know that? Yeah. And we think, what's the problem? Just get my rounds done. But what you've just done is set a pattern. And if you don't break the pattern, it'll tend to stay that way. Yes?
In relation to an attentive japa, location also.
Where you're chanting?
If you're in the temple room, then it's much easier to chant because you're like-minded people. If you're in your house, you're trying to chant, and the laptop's there.
Oh yeah, that's true. Don't chat near your laptop. Okay, that's the 12th offense. 11th is no chanting with Facebook. 12th offense, no chanting near your laptop. And the 13th offense? Well, we can just merge them into one offense. No electronic devices on during japa. Just like we're talking, quality time, and I'm texting while we're talking. How does that make you feel? Yeah. So how does Krishna feel when you're chanting and you're doing something else? Like, I guess something else is more important, right? Yes? Now, what I think, this is my personal realization, I think where we've gone wrong is we don't realize Krishna is present in his name. Because if Krishna were personally present, I don't think he would say, Krishna, can you hang out for a while? I just have to do my email. Or Krishna, I just got to check my Facebook messages. Please don't go away. Of course we wouldn't do that. So that means we're not fully realizing Krishna's presence in his name. That he's there. And that's who we're dealing with. You agree? Yeah, that's the problem. So the more you appreciate Krishna's presence, the more you'll be attentive. The more you're attentive, the more you'll appreciate his presence. It's a vicious cycle. Well, it's not a vicious cycle, it's a good cycle. The vicious cycle is the opposite. The more you're inattentive, the less you appreciate his presence. The less you appreciate his presence, the more inattentive you become. Does that make sense? Makes sense to me. That's my experience. Yeah. Yes?
what about listening to kirtan while chanting, like on the background?
Yeah, Prabhupada said that was redundant. So listen to Prabhupada chanting japa, that's good. Don't read when you're chanting. You can read, you can stop chanting and read, but don't read while you're chanting. Because the idea is, if you just think it as personal, Krishna's there and you're communicating with him. So you need all your attention on that communication. You need all that attention on your prayers. So the more you do that, the more you will benefit from chanting. And it'll be, like I said earlier, it'll be a different experience. You'll think, this is a different mantra. It's not the same mantra.